What is our status quo, or what do we consider normal? Which is kind of a loaded word in a way, as what we consider normal reveals what our expectations are. Does it mean this is what the majority does? Or is it what we think the majority does? Is it reflective of the way things are, or simply how we've always known them? Or maybe the whole concept of normal is just some arbitrary figment of our imagination. It's kind of interesting in that if you ask a kid what they want to be when they grow up, they'll generally respond with something they consider extraordinary, like cowboy, princess, firefighter, doctor, police officer, all these kinds of things. And yet, when you ask someone maybe a bit older, they might say, oh, they just want to be normal, or they want to be in a stable situation. So, does something happen to our expectations as we get older? Maybe we just get hit with reality and decide that we want to survive and that is what is important. So we decide we want to blend in, we don't want to stand out, we want to be normal. And part of that is focusing on the paycheck so we're actually getting the money in instead of doing with what actually fulfills us. Or finding a way to do both. And maybe this is all just because we've accepted other people's expectations as the status quo. Because isn't that all status quo is? How we expect things to be? So we have a bunch of people who are basically saying, this is the way things are. You have to get this degree to make this much, and so on and so forth. And that is how things are. That is the status quo. And we can often live our lives believing that's how things always will be. Yet, that status quo, or normal, is very fragile. And that should be obvious post 2020, but there are many other things that can mess with how we expect life to go. Accidents, sickness, a loss of a job, a loss of a relationship, and we can go on and on, all the things that just kind of derail us or can derail us and make us realize, wait a minute, this isn't how I expected things to be. But we don't often think about those as possible concepts in our own little slice of normal. So we often don't recognize that normal status as we kind of value it is exactly what will end up being its undoing. Think about companies as the internet was starting to take off, especially in regards to basically shopping and so forth. There were some that embraced the new opportunities in front of them that, hey, we can have people look through basically our whole catalog or stock online and they can order whatever they want and we can be directly in front of them. Even with social media, we can actually communicate with them on almost a one-to-one basis. But yet others were content and thought they should be doing the things the way they always did, like let's put out the catalog and have them come into the store and so forth. Basically what they chose to do is to stick to the status quo. And many of those companies end up paying the cost and either went out of business or had to eventually acquiesce to all the things they turned down originally. Because there's two problems with keeping the status quo as our goal. The first is that we may not notice when things are changing around us. We become so focused on this is the way things have always been that we tend to blind ourselves to the fact that they won't stay the same. Because time marches on whether we allow it to or not, and change always comes with it. It may be that we miss out on the special moments in life because we think there will always be time tomorrow, because after all, that's how it was yesterday. So we miss the games, the recitals, the parties, and so forth, thinking there will always be another chance. Or maybe we think that our rules and how to do things are carved into reality, without noticing that there may be new and better ways to apply the actual principles the rules are based on. Like how a mail advertisement might have been a great way to get in front of an audience at one point and be in their mind. But now with social media, you get the opportunity to insert yourself into your audience's ongoing conversation for better or for worse. Sad thing is that many people will only learn about that idea of time changing things the hard way. The second problem we can face is that what we can consider normal can actually be harming us. Take a person who is smoking a pack of cigarettes each day. Even though those pats come with warning, they still do it because it's their normal. It's what they do each day, even though they would be better off if they made a change. And there are many other examples of this issue, and everything from our health. Maybe, just how many people are kind of wondering why they don't feel good or why they don't have energy when all they are doing is eating empty tubs and then sitting on the couch vegging in front of the TV with whatever's on. Or what about in relationships? How many people are wondering why they can't find someone in their life when all they're doing is strolling on their phone, swiping left and right, and have a bunch of people walking right past them? Or maybe in our work, how many companies are wondering why aren't things turning out the way they should be? We're doing everything by the book, yet the book is basically not innovative at all and pretty much hindering everything that could change to benefit them, and possibly even having rules that are almost against prosperity of the company. And then there's even things in our society. How many times have you heard, oh, that's just the game of politics, or that's just how politics is supposed to be? And it's like, really? Why? We get so used to things being as they are, we don't really think about how things should be. Which is actually the question that undoes the whole status quo concept. What could be? It breaks the cycle because instead of relying on what someone else says or what we see as possible, it invites us to dream it in, like when we were kids. Because the main obstacle to change is thinking that you don't have a choice to. So all it really takes to begin that change process is to start asking, how do we change? And then following through and taking action on that. Of course, these are my thoughts on why the status quo can actually be harming us. But what do you think about it? Was there something I missed? If so, why not let me know in the comments below? And if you enjoyed this video, please like and share it so others can see it as well. Anyway, I'm Jonah, and you've been watching Lions Mane Media, where we celebrate stories and the lessons we learn from them. Talk to you later, and have a great rest of your day.